Wow, he's really green. You okay, sailor?
His tummy hurts, that's all.
You're just feeling a little queasy. By the way, somebody pointed this out. The gun sound effect is looped.
Wait, really?
As when he stops talking, I'll show you.
Okay.
We'll keep an eye out.
But like, yeah, like there's like a 4-second part clip, and then it just loops. Okay,
That's really bad.
Just
Okay, I'm listening.
oh,
Ah, tutorial.
is that right bumper? Yeah.
It sounds like it was trying to talk.
Yeah, but you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not even like they didn't
It's
even
like
bother
pitched-
recording
it's just
a
like,
full clip.
It's like pitched differently.
You know what I bet that happened? I bet they took the audio from the movie.
That
Because what happens is it cuts between the rifle fire and the aliens.
yeah.
So they didn't even bother like having
It was a cool idea, just horribly implemented.
just
Well, like, hey, let's take the sound effects from the movie. That's a cool idea.
yeah, it's cool in theory, but when you don't put any effort into it, it's just bad.
Which, again, I don't understand because it's... Okay, Sega doesn't have the best track record as of late.
Sega has they haven't had a very good track record for a while.
Bayonetta.
They're more like, yeah, we'll put it out, I guess.
But you can't deny that Sega had a hand in Bayonetta, and it was an awesome... Both games were awesome. So what I'm saying, Sega has had good games.
But like everything
Gearbox
else,
has had good games.
they've had like 2.
They
had-
were awesome though.
They've had Borderlands. Borderlands is good, but the second one just took a dive. Like,
I don't. When you played it at the time, you didn't think so. It's
That's
after
true.
a while.
No, it's like is when you get into it, it's like, oh yeah, this is really good. But then like 5 or 6 hours later, it's like, is this it? Did I just play the game? And I still have like 4 hours to go.
What I'm saying is, all the companies behind this game have good games under their belt.
Yeah, but not lately.
But what happened?
They just didn't care.
Think
Like
that was
Sega,
it?
like honestly,
Or did they
Sega-
rest
Sega,
too?
No, Sega.
Did they rest too hard on the movie?
I think they were partially expecting it to sell by name alone, but
Yeah.
Sega itself just hasn't really bothered with many of its games lately. And Gearbox really doesn't had many successes outside of Borderlands.
No, yeah, I would agree there. I do. I'm still a fanboy of like the original Borderlands, though.
Yeah. Can you imagine if Borderlands 1 was made with the Borderlands 2
Engine.
not engine, I'm pretty
But,
sure it's the
like,
same
updates?
engine, but yeah.
Here's the thing, though. I love all the characters from Borderlands 2. All
I
the
like
main
the characters, I just
like
don't like the
playable
writing.
characters.
I don't like the writing in 2.
You think they rested on their laurels too much?
It rested on memes.
Right.
It was like, oh, we
well-
read the internet.
At the time, was funny.
Funny
but
for
that's
10
the
for 10
But
minutes.
that's the problem. Is that once you play it years later, it's not funny anymore.
No. It's like,
However-
yeah, it's like, yeah, I get it. You're making an internet reference, but is there anything else to this game?
However, Butt Stallion is still hilarious.
Butt Stallion's pretty good. Okay, Handsome Jack's the best part of it, but then they made the game. You know what's really confusing? They made the Handsome collection, and the games that are some of the games in the thing are just barely, are barely related to Handsome Jack. It's like, yeah, we understand that Handsome Jack is like the best part of our game.
How does the Tales of the Borderlands series fit into Borderlands?
It's
Because after Borderlands 2, I just stopped following.
I stopped following after 2, yeah. I think it's after 2.
But isn't it before 2? Isn't it the story of how Handsome Jack became Handsome Jack?
It is.
Or is that the prequel sequel?
I thought that was this pre-sequel. I honestly don't know where.
I might just read up on it, just for shits and gigs. Because, like, I like the story of Borderlands.
For the most part, yeah, that's not a terrible story.
And Claptrap.
Claptrap's funny.
I love
But I honestly, I like most of Borderlands for about a couple hours at most. But then, like, after that, I just can't deal with their level of bullshit for much longer. Like, it's great if you play it with people for a short amount of time.
Right, but if you play it by yourself,
Like, I knew I had a friend from one of my classes who was just super into Borderlands. And so much so that every time I would see him online on Xbox,
That's
he
what
would
he'd
be
be
playing
playing.
Borderlands. And like he every now and then he would tell me about how he would grind for
Weapons.
weapons, and I just could not understand why you would put yourself through that.
You got achieves, dude.
I don't care.
I do because you're giving me points.
Well,
Except I don't really care anymore because I don't play Xbox anymore.
yeah.
However, I miss achievements. Like I am a PlayStation gamer now
Yeah.
because I have my PS4.
But they got achievements right, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, dude, trophies
Trophies
don't even scratch the surface of achievements.
Trophies are chump shit for achievements,
Yeah,
man.
they are. What's really cool though? Okay,
What?
so I've been playing Final Fantasy Type 0.
Yeah.
Fantastic game. I love it. I love it. Right? Because it's a super it's a very
I died.
That's okay. It's a very mature Final Fantasy game.
I've heard it's like the hardest core one.
Yeah, it's rated M. And it was a Vita title.
Yeah.
Like I'm playing the HD remaster. There's blood everywhere. But
Don't you like burn a chocobo alive or something?
no, a chocobo gets killed in the first
In, like, the
cutscene of the game.
prologue.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's really sad. I cried. Or I didn't
cry
actually
every-
cry. I teared up.
You cry every time.
No, the only game series I've actually cried at was Legend of Zelda. I just finished Skyward Sword, for real.
Yeah.
Because, okay, real tangent, but then getting back to Type 0. I started, obviously, Skyward Sword when it first came out in 2011.
Yeah.
Because I'm the biggest Zelda fanboy.
You are
I-
a huge fanboy, yes.
I love the series. I love it to death. And it's still a good series, so you can't make fun of me.
Yeah, it's good.
But
I mean, there's like I could list problems with like some of the newer ones, but yeah, overall it's a good series.
honestly, Skyward Sword was not one of my favorite games.
Wow.
But so I got to like the last.
Sorry, just real quick. You need to watch those Matthew Matosis videos.
Okay. But let me get to my story before
Okay,
we make
okay,
a
yeah,
third tangent.
Yeah.
I got all the way to the Fire Sanctuary, excuse me, which is like third final dungeon. So I was pretty far into the game.
Yeah.
And then I did that thing where you stop playing the game because of something, and I never
Yeah.
got back to it.
And you forget what you were doing.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, I gotta start it over. So, beginning of spring semester this year, 4 years later, I picked it up again. I was like, well, I can't start from where I was. I gotta start over. So I did, and I committed to actually completing the game because I love Zelda.
Yeah.
I beat it last week. And-
Skyward Sword?
Yeah.
Okay.
I legit cried during the ending cutscenes. Like, I actually cried.
Yeah.
It's so touching. And it's one of those things where other games have been that touching, but I have such an emotional attachment to this series that it was just enough to put me over the edge to actually showing physical emotion to the game.
Yeah.
So like the beginning of Final Fantasy Type 0 has about that same amount of emotion,
Oh my god.
but I don't have as much of an attachment to it that I didn't cry to it.
Yeah.
But the reason I brought up Type 0 and achievements, it's because you're distracted by my story.
No. It's not even that. This is supposed to be easy. Why am I dying more here than when I was playing normal?
Because you're used to a higher difficulty.
Oh my god.
Can you change the difficulty? I would do it if you can.
This is the easiest to get.
No, I know. I'm saying change the difficulty, make
I'm
it
not
harder.
changing it to normal. Fuck that.
Whatever. Don't get salty with me.
I'm not salty at you. I'm salty at this shit game.
Hey! You didn't have to play 2 hours of Drake!
Was it actually 2 hours?
It was getting close.
Yeah.
Because how many times I had to fucking restart the same level. But anyway! Back to the original point of my story.
Okay.
We were talking about achievements and how PlayStation's trophies don't reach that same level.
Yeah.
However, Type 0 does this really cool thing that when you acquire a trophy,
Yeah.
it takes a snapshot
Of the moment?
in-game of what you were doing to earn that trophy.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can, like, look back and be like, oh, so that's what I was doing in-game to get that trophy.
Yeah.
It was a really cool touch.
Okay, that's actually not bad.
Still not as cool as acquiring points,
Yeah.
but to be able to look back and know how I got it,
Yeah.
that's cool. So kudos, Square Enix. And kudos on a fantastic Final Fantasy game. Like, again, I'm kind of a fanboy of that series too,
Yeah.
but there have been some shitty Final Fantasies, and Type 0,
What the fuck? Look at that. I shot him, and he just shot into the roof.
Ragdoll. Dude, I
Oh.
love ragdoll physics.
Not in this game.
I hope we never get past the point where ragdoll physics are no longer.
I hope they are here to stay.
I really do.
You know the ragdoll in Dark Souls?
Yes.
It is absurdly hilarious.
And not Call of Duty. Grand Theft Auto. I don't even
Yeah.
play Grand Theft Auto. The ragdolls in that is hilarious. But Square Enix,
yeah.
kudos on Type 0. I love that game. The characters are a little tropey because you have 12 main characters.
Isn't that all? Aren't they also like school children?
Well, yeah, you're school students, which is okay. It's done before, but you can still do it. The problem is the fact that you have so many main characters that they inevitably have to fall into tropes because of how many there are.
Yeah.
And they do their tropes well,
But they're still.
but they're still tropes.
Tropes are not necessarily a bad thing.
No. And in the context of the game, it works really well because you have so many main characters. The fact that they're kind of stereotypical, they work well together.
Yeah.
But it's still a trope.
Right.
You have the bad guy who is dumb and uses brute force.
Right.
You have the super smart glasses wearing girl.
You see this? You see this?
Is this supposed to be feeling?
No.
Is the game still going while the tutorial menu is up?
Just real quick. He blew himself up, right?
But I'm saying the cutscene kept moving even though you had the tutorial screen up.
Yeah. Just real quick though, he blew himself up. Somehow I'm back to where I was. Not
Oh yeah,
next
you
to
did a
him.
loop-de-loop in pool.
Yeah.
And your shoes are looking
Fuck you.
No!
No, fuck you.
No!
No, fuck you.
SpongeBob is always applicable.
No, fuck you. Don't bring SpongeBob into this. Don't bring it down to this.
You are an angry drunk, my
Have you
friend.
talked to Yoakum lately?
No.
Actually, he's not as bad as he was, but he still brings it up every now and then.
Well, of
But like,
course.
he'll bring up this like, oh, new SpongeBob isn't as good,
Well, it's
which
not.
admittedly is not. But it's just kind of funny to
Did
hear.
you see the second movie?
The one recently?
Yeah.
No, I
Out of
haven't.
water, something
I
like
haven't
that.
seen
Sponge
it.
out
Is
of
it
water.
any good?
It has moments. It has moments.
Yeah.
It overall couldn't hold a candle to the first movie.
Oh, with that one, you can't hold a candle to David Hasselhoff.
But there were moments where I was legitimately like dying.
Oh,
There was a point where SpongeBob and Plankton were having a conversation,
yeah.
and Plankton said something characteristically morbid, and SpongeBob, without any feeling in his voice, just goes, "That's messed up, Plankton," or something along that lines. But it just the context of the scene
Yeah.
and everything, it was hilarious.
Oh, that's good.
I died.
Yeah.
But overall,
Well, rip.
overall, it had the comedy of new SpongeBob's,
Yeah.
and it was like, eh.
Yeah.
So as a movie as a whole, it was subpar,
It's okay.
but it had moments that were hilarious. There was a straight up rap battle, like you know the YouTube rap battles,
Yeah.
epic rap battles of history or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
There was straight up one of those at the end of the movie that was totally unexpected, and it was awesome. Yeah, no, it was really dumb,
What?
but because of it being completely out of left field,
Yeah.
it was fantastic.
I kind of want to see this now.
I would watch it once.
Yeah.
Don't go in expecting SpongeBob the first movie.
Yeah.
Go in expecting a long SpongeBob episode,
Okay.
and it's like I said, it's decent. I would give it a 72.
Okay. Like a C.
Yeah, you see it once, you get a couple yucks.
Like, okay.
Yeah, but you don't need to see it again.
Yeah.
What was really nice though is I saw it at the hub,
Okay.
and someone brought a bunch of kids along, and honestly, they made it better because kids find everything funny.
Yeah.
And even new SpongeBob, if you're young enough, you know that comedy is perfect. It's what you want.
Yeah.
So having them in the crowd and laughing at every one of the stupid jokes honestly made it a more enjoyable experience as a whole. Because you're like, you know what? Some kid thinks this is the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And I can't help but smile at that. I am a sucker for little kids, dude.
Yeah.
Little kids make me smile. I love. Not in a weird sexual way. I know that face you're giving me. Honestly, little kids who are just enjoying life,
Yeah.
I can't help but smile at it, you know? Because they just think everything is amazing. They have no expectations. They're not critical at all. I've gotten to the point where I'm so cynical of things that it's nice to see someone who just enjoys things because it's meant to enjoy them.
Yeah, yeah. Like I get that a lot at work.
Right.
Yeah. Like
Right.
when I just see people having fun, it's like, oh, or like when I see
You can't help but it's contagious.
yeah, or like when I don't know, I'm
you
like
still
yes,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, no, but like I'm also
We're really not paying attention to this game at all.
no, no, but I'm also a sucker. Like it's weird. Like I'm a sucker for that guy was stuck on the environment too. I don't know if you saw that.
What are you doing, silly?
What are you doing, O'Neal? No, but
Isn't this supposed to be a horror game?
It's-
I'm supposed to be scared right now, alright?
I don't know. You're supposed to be spooked.
I'm gonna turn off the lights in a minute.
Get
But, okay, what were you saying about
I'm not just necessarily. I mean, I'm a sucker for seeing like I worked on Sunday yesterday,
Right.
which was Father's Day.
Right, of course.
To date this, but anyway, there
Yeah.
were just a ton of
Father and sons, father and
not
daughters.
necessarily father and sons. There were
families?
just families.
Okay.
Yeah, like a lot of dads, but a lot of sons and daughters, and even some grandparents there too. And everybody was just having fun. Everyone
They
was
were
like,
enjoying life.
yeah, everyone was just happy. And I was like, you know what? I'm feeling good today.
Right.
I like this.
Right.
It's the same thing when I'm like downtown or whatever, and I just walk by and I see a couple holding hands. And I'm like, that's cute. I like that. And then
was-
I get sad because I'm single.
There was maybe last week or the week before or something. It was recently.
Yeah.
I was doing my thing at checking people out.
Right.
This mother and daughter came up, and the daughter had a pair of Frozen sunglasses in her hand.
Okay.
I don't like Frozen. I saw
You
the
don't.
movie
I've
once.
heard-
I was
I've
like,
heard you.
it was okay, but
Yeah.
the hype for it, I
They really played it up.
right, and it turns me off. But the fact that she was probably 5 or 6. She was really young.
Yeah.
And she handed me the glasses. Her mom let her carry them around the store, and it was really
She was
important.
just really happy about
Right,
it.
and it was really important that she got to hand them to the cashier.
Yeah.
So, I swallowed my pride because I'm not an asshole, and
Yeah, I'm not gonna be a dick to this 5.
right. And so I asked the little girl. I was like, "So you like Frozen?"
Yeah.
And oh my god, it was like turning a faucet on. She's like, "Oh my god, I love Frozen." And I was like, "Oh really? Who's your favorite character?" And she's naturally she said Elsa.
Yeah.
But then
That's the older one, right?
Yes.
The ice queen
Yes,
one.
yeah. But
She's
then
cool.
she corrected herself and she goes, "You know what? I like all the characters except the bad guy because he tried to hurt them." And my heart is breaking.
That's
I'm like, "Oh my
adorable.
god!"
That is
and then
adorable.
she corrected herself one more time, and she's like, "Actually, I really like Olaf because he's really funny."
Yeah.
And I said, "Really? That's awesome. I like Sven."
Yeah.
That's I
Sven's
think
cool.
that's the reindeer, right?
No, Sven's the.
Yeah, it's reindeer.
I thought it was the dude.
It
dude
was
from the reindeer.
Whoever I can't remember
going
it.
here?
I meant the reindeer.
The
If
reindeer-
it's
the
Sven,
reindeer's funny, yeah.
If it's Sven, I meant the reindeer. If it's another name, I said that. I'm too drunk to remember.
Right.
But I told her I liked the reindeer,
Yeah.
and the conversation kept going for a while. The point is, I had a 5-minute conversation with a 5-year-old about Frozen, and it made my fucking day. It made her fucking day.
Yeah.
And her mom was just all smiles.
Yeah.
Because, I showed interest. I got her kid to talk to a stranger in a non-weird way, in a very safe environment. And I told the little girl when we were done, I was like, "You make sure your mom shows you Frozen tonight. You make sure you watch it tonight for me, okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I will." And so when I was
I'm
finished,
sure her mom appreciated that.
she gave me like a half smile, like I've watched it too many times.
Like,
kinda
ha
thing.
ha, thank
Right.
you.
So I finished ringing them up. The check prints out. I hand the mom the check and I go, "Enjoy Frozen tonight." She gives me like this half smile, but at the same time, it was one of those. You made my daughter so happy in those couple moments. Thank you anyway.
Yeah, it's like, thanks.
Granted,
but thanks.
I have to watch this shit again,
Yeah.
but.
I have to hear "Let It Go" for like
Right.
the 8th time this
Well,
week.
Yeah, but it was one of those moments where I like talking to kids, and I'm at that age where people are really apprehensive to let me talk to kids because I'm at a young adult age where I could be a
Right.
sex offender, but I'm not, obviously.
Yeah. But you're a stranger. I don't.
Exactly. But like I said, the innocence that kids have that as a man-child myself, I wish I still had.
Yeah.
It's really nice to talk to them and just play into it. Just,
Yeah.
you know, let them have the moments.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to share that moment anymore, but I know what I have to say just to make them smile. And as a 21-year-old, I think it's weird a little bit to care so much about that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not worried about drinking
Yeah.
and everything. But they say the smile on a kid's face is priceless, and I believe it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, hey man, if you like it and people don't mind it, and like you make people happy, then whatever.